Hi, Dr. Nelson here from counselingtransforms.com, where we help our clients achieve their best self, better relationships, and a more balanced life. Today's topic is sexual addiction. So here's one of the things that we see a lot when we're working with families who are in the process of recovering from someone acting out sexually. And one of the issues that women struggle with when someone they care about has a sexual addiction is it affects their self-esteem. And there was a study done many years ago where they studied children, and one of the fundamental differences between male children and female children was how they perceive things or their worldview. And so what they did is they set these kids up in a room with a computer, and the kids were playing with the computer. Then the researchers would cause the computer to malfunction, and they noticed a pattern where most of the male children would blame the computer. They'd be like, "Stupid computer." And most of the female children would actually kind of internalize it themselves, like, "What did I do wrong?" And that's a pattern that we see sometimes with families that have been affected by sexual addiction. So the females tend to internalize that as, there's something wrong with me. Why am I not enough? Why am I not good enough? Why would they do that? The other thing is trust. And so once someone has had their trust violated, it's important for the person who acted out to rebuild trust by being consistent and honest over time and doing whatever they can to make amends. Sometimes there's just too much water under the bridge, too much harm, too much damage to be done. But when couples want to work on their relationship, usually what we do is we turn the goals into a behavioral contract. So what behaviors we need to measure that would indicate that someone is getting better, and the person that acted out sexually needs to own their behaviors and make amends. When the person that acted out is doing well, like they're doing good, they're being compliant with treatment recommendations, they might be going to 12-step meetings, they're stable, they're not acting out like they did, and that's been demonstrated over a period of time. The person that was hurt, their walls start to come down and they start to trust. And then sometimes what happens is they get scared, and it's almost instinct. And so I think of it as like kind of rolling down the window and starting to connect with the other person. But then because I realize, oh my gosh, I'm vulnerable, they can slam it back up, and then that can cause trouble for two reasons. One is that the person that is scared is preventing the relationship from actually mending and repairing over time. The other is that the person that's in recovery and is serious about it and doing well can really be discouraged. That's a problem that couples can fall into, and then that can also cause kind of a stalemate. So a couple things that need to be addressed there. One is the person that acted out, they need to own those behaviors, empathize with the person that they care about that they hurt whenever that person is triggered or is scared or is angry, because usually those feelings come in waves. So someone might be feeling like their relationship is doing pretty good, and then all of a sudden they'll get hit with fear or anger, and the person that acted out needs to be empathetic when that happens and ideally reflect the other person's point of view. For example, you have every right to be angry, or you have every right to feel scared because I betrayed your trust. And that's super important to validate your loved one's experience if you were the one that has the sexual addiction. Guys tend to be more visual spatial and don't always do so well with identifying feelings, either theirs or other people's. And that can play itself out in different ways when a couple is in recovery, because the guys need to empathize with the person that they hurt or violated. If their spouse or significant other is experiencing anger or fear or something like that, instead of reacting defensively, what the guy needs to do is empathize and say, "Hey, you know what? I get it. I hurt you. I betrayed your trust, so it makes sense why you would be feeling anxious, or you have every right to be angry." And guys, listen to me very carefully here. If you do that, it's going to go a long way towards repairing the relationship. And if you can validate your significant other's experience and give that to her, she's probably going to de-escalate. However, if you get defensive and challenge that or negate her feelings with logic, so for example, let's say she says, "You're not trustworthy." I'm not a fan of the "you" statements, but let's say that she says that, rather than arguing back, "Yes, I am because of this, like I've been doing good in recovery, I'm going to my 12-step meetings, blah, 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 blah." that invalidates her feelings and point of view and her experience, and it's probably going to escalate her and cause damage to the relationship. Whereas if I can empathize and kind of pause for a second and go, you know what? She has every right to feel this way because I hurt her, I betrayed her trust, or something like that. Give her that. She'll probably de-escalate, and that's going to be really important. So I'm a fan of the I feel. I want her need statement. I feel blank, insert emotion. I need blank, insert behavior. But when someone's triggered and they have a strong emotional reaction, they don't always say it the best way possible. So let's give our loved ones some latitude and some understanding and some grace when they get triggered and they have a feeling storm, and that'll go a long way towards rebuilding and repairing the relationship. The other thing that I want you guys to know, if you have acted out or you have an issue with sexual addiction, is it's going to be really important that you are rigorously honest with your loved one. Because otherwise, if you feel bad because of what you did, and let's say that you're struggling or something, and she asks you, are you okay, are you struggling, and you don't want to upset her or worry her, so you say, no, I'm fine, that's going to actually go against rebuilding trust. So you're going to have to learn how to be honest, even if it hurts her, because if you hurt her honestly, kindly hopefully, but if you hurt her by being honest, it's going to go a long way towards helping her to understand that she can trust you because you're brave enough to tell her the truth even when she doesn't want to hear it. In contrast to that, guys, you could be doing everything right, and then if you're kind of not being rigorously honest about something to protect her, it's going to pretty much invalidate all the good things that you're doing. So it's important that you demonstrate good faith over an extended period of time to rebuild trust. Be patient with her as she learns to trust you again, but make sure that you're empathizing with her, not being defensive. If she gets upset or gets triggered by something, try not to take it personally, but rather reflect her point of view and her emotions. She'll probably calm down and feel better. Practice the I feel, I want her need statements. So bottom line is, guys, you need to empathize rather than be defensive. Own your responsibility for your part in the damage that was done, and give her that respect and empathy when she's upset. She has every right to be upset, and that's okay. If you do that, it's going to go a long way towards repairing the relationship